Top 10 Fascinating Facts About Fear. Dread keeps an individual alive. The cerebrum has specific focuses, qualities, neurons and stunts dedicated to terrifying you for that pummel of adrenaline to help your odds of enduring a danger. This rundown is about a portion of the freakier things with respect to how dread is actuated, gotten, and how it can even murder the individual it is attempting to save. 1. Fear-encoded neurons. During a terrible dismay, genuine or envisioned, the unsteady casualty may encounter some dynamite indications. Hyperventilating, incapable to move, or darting like a mouse, each response starts from a small piece of the brain. The pecan-estimated amygdala stays a baffling organ, yet mice prepared to fear a specific sound, flagging an electrical stun, uncovered two realities about the mind's dread community. At whatever point the destroying signal was given, they perceived what was going to occur and froze. The sympathy-tested analysts found that specific gatherings of neurons inside the amygdala were encoded with recollections of unfortunate encounters, a library putting away past occasions they've learned were unfortunate. Also, the amygdala nearly assumes control over the mind at whatever point it perceives an expected danger. Everything gets stifled to zero in on the right dread reaction. 2. It's really contagious. It's been imagined that individuals have lost the capacity to smell the sensations of others. We probably won't coordinate with the manner in which creatures assemble data through aroma, yet this capacity is available in people. What the nose gets isn't the genuine inclination, however, it's synthetic signs. This capacity may clarify why others can be influenced by a terrified individual or why groups get frightened and rush like a herd. A study terrified one portion of an experimental group, all men, with a thriller while showing the rest revolting clasps. Ladies were then presented to the sweat-soaked outcomes, and relying upon which gathering's fragrance they breathed in, they effectively showed frightened or appalled responses. Ladies were picked as the responsive gathering since they are more open to the other gender's fragrance signals. 3. It's inheritable. Lab mice were prepared to relate the aroma of cherry bloom with an electrical stun. Their puppies and terrific little guys were then all careful about cherry bloom, however they never got any stuns when presented to the aroma. Their alert may have something to do with epigenetics. This system changes the hereditary code, killing certain qualities or initiating others relying upon the climate or experience of the person. The 2 ages following the bloom-dreading guardians all had changed minds. Enormous regions were committed to perceiving the scent, maybe to assist them with keeping away from what their precursors perceived as a danger. 4. Spare fear center. Since dread is so critical to endurance, nature ensured the cerebrum's dread place, the amygdala, has a reinforcement. For quite a while, specialists realized that when harmed, another piece of the cerebrum assumed control over its work. Tests established that this part is the bed nuclei. Rats with a weakened amygdala froze in the electric enclosures they've been educated to fear, similar to ordinary brained rodents. However, the individuals who had a harmed amygdala and bed cores showed a huge disappointment when recollecting dangers, under ordinary conditions. In the event that one can consider an amygdala closure, that the bed cores would actuate just if the fundamental dread community is incapacitated. Notwithstanding, this reinforcement circuit isn't generally sans glitch. Tension issues in certain individuals may be caused if the amygdala's dynamic signal is some way or another not got by the bed cores, which at that point enacts. With the 2 habitats working, an individual can get overpowered with an over-the-top dread reaction. 5. Mind marijuana. Mind synthetic substances called endocannabinoids have a place with a similar gathering of cannabinoids that make Mary Jane a particularly overall top pick. The ones the cerebrum delivers potentially exist to overwrite terrible recollections. Trails on mice, believe it or not, they got stunned once more, established that there is a circuit between 2 territories of the cerebrum, both associated with controlling feeling and choice-making. When there is expanded movement in the amygdala and the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, set off by endocannabinoids, this circuit seems to assist with the development of safe new recollections. In the mouse tests, the creatures that got more fake incitement to this circuit were better ready to defeat their dread of a specific upgrade. While there's no lasting eradication, they do seem to help blur the recollections conceived of injury and some of the time even square them. 6. Love as the antidote. Delivered in a marble-sized region close to the base of the cerebrum called the nerve center, oxytocin has been credited with giving new moms the boldness to act where others freeze in dread. Nature gives ladies this chemical in spades during labor to lessen the dread and stress of the occasion, since it is a vibe-decent compound. During lactation, its levels stay raised and is fundamental for mother-kid holding. As a little something extra, oxytocin is likewise basic to defeat dread. This lifts moms' mental fortitude and speed to secure their newborn children during danger. While new mothers are loaded with the stuff, it's positively not selective to them. Anybody can encounter this dread-murdering wonder given the correct conditions. What's more, it's almost momentary. During a bushy circumstance, the chemical gets infused into the amygdala inside the space of seconds by means of extraordinary cells driving from the nerve center. 7. Reality distortion. An examination has discovered that dread can convey an intimidation look more awful than it truly is. While absolutely it doesn't occur for each situation, individuals who especially dread something, similar to creepy crawlies, are less inclined to effectively figure the animal's estimate and see it to be bigger. The same visual erroneous conclusion has been found to occur with the individuals who fear statures. They regularly overestimate the genuine distance to the ground when investigating a gallery. The individuals who fear little spaces or huge spaces experience the ill effects of spatial contortion. Claustrophobics will in general belittle even distances, while acrophobics misrepresent the vertical. Most public have encountered time going slow-mo during a crisis. This time traveling is a memory-related figment. The more recollections you have of an occasion, the more you trust it kept going. During an emergency, the amygdala adds additional recollections to the current conditions, and since the individual encounters a particularly rich memory reaction, time seems to back off. 8. Fears heal during sleep. For a change, analysts shocked human subjects rather than mice. They destroyed the fatigued volunteers each time they saw a specific face in a picture arrangement. Alongside the face and stun, scientists delivered a specific smell to connection to the upsetting experience. The members at that point rested and unconsciously breathed in the scent without the related electrical stun. Cerebrum examines showed zones including memory calmed down, and after arousing, the volunteers weren't so careful about the face as before. To test if rest alone was behind this hosing impact, the volunteers were instructed to fear an alternate face, yet its own interesting scent wasn't delivered during their rest. In contrast to the main picture, members actually feared the second face after they woke up. A gathering that remained conscious dreaded both. For some explanation, rest gives a baffling state where a gut improvements, like the smell, takes into account a desensitizing impact. 9. The fear gene. There is a quality called Stathman, and it partitions the individuals who can leap out of a plane and individuals who can't get on a plane. Stathman is generally dynamic in the amygdala and is liable for what one should think about natural feelings of dread, statures, risky creatures, and the obscure, yet in addition recalling unfortunate experiences. Laboratory mice who came up short on the quality conquered open spaces and even took electric shock tests better compared to the Stathman conveying rodents. The subsequent bunch were more delicate to threats. At the point when they experienced a circumstance that incited characteristic alert, like an open space, or a showed dread, like a specific sound just before an electrical stun, their self-protection took need. Their cerebrums terminated, not at all like the sans Stathman mice. 10. Fright can be fatal. You can in a real sense be frightened to death. Regardless of whether it's an especially distinctive Halloween trick or a home intruder pointing a weapon at you, something compulsory happens inside the human heart. At the point when the battle or flight reaction is set off, the body needs additional strength. For that, the heart needs to pulsate more grounded, something made conceivable by an infusion of calcium into heart cells. If an individual can't quiet down or the stun is essentially excessively overpowering, calcium and adrenaline continue to pour in. That quick siphoning that was expected to incidentally empower the body to battle or run for the slopes presently can't stop. Rather than thumping, the heart shudders. On the off chance that this isn't dealt with, it can prompt a drop in pulse, obviousness, and eventually passing. Individuals with sound hearts can pass on thusly, and cardiovascular patients face a higher danger.